What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Pliyo, and today I want to go over Yeli's kit, the latest unit coming to Etheria Restart in around 20 hours after this video. I want to go over every single ability, and then I want to compare her with other options that we have available in the game right now. So let's jump straight into the video because there are so many things to discuss. I love her design so much. The question is, should you pull on her? Well, one second. So, speed is one of the most important attributes that we need to see. So 110 is like similar as Holden, which is really slow. So right off the bat, she's not really broken in terms of attributes and speed. It's coming.
Skill 1.
So, Yeli manipulates arrows, dealing 240% damage to a single enemy with each attack, having a 30% chance to steal one buff. 30% chance is not really high, therefore, we're gonna need to build her on some effect accuracy to increase our odds, right? So, that's something that we need to start thinking. And also, look at this. You need, on the base stat, I guess, is 10%. I think the base stat is 10%. And once you invest 4 lettuce, then you can go up to 30%, which is still not really high. At the same time, if we remember other options, we have people like Heinrich that does 50% chance of dispelling. Let's look into that. Heinrich, it has like 50% chance. Where it is, his first ability, 30% chance to dispel one buff from the target. If the target has no dispellable buff, then it does other things. Also, Xiada, just to compare options. Also, Xiada has a 20% chance to steal one buff from the target, right? And then once her soul flames fully evolve, it increases the chance to 80%, which is higher. So that options to compare when it comes to the dispel department, right?
Yeli damages a single enemy with a chance to steal one buff from the target. Skill 2.
Speaking of dispelling, Aurora has some buffs that are undispellable, but also she has the immunity buff, so you could dispel that one. And then once you dispel that one, then you can start, hammering her with all your vulnerable, defense down, etc., etc., etc. So then Yeli, might be crack for PvE because of that. Because if she goes first, or if she goes early enough, then all the debuffers can come later, making the fight way, way easier. All right, let's continue. After landing a crit with an active skill, Yeli has a 100% chance to additionally cast Arrow Spark, which is her first ability. After each casting, the chance of triggering the next cast reduces to 60% of the current chance. So this is like a decaying probability scenario where you land a crit, and then you get 100% chance. Well, if you invest for lettuce, right? For lettuce, for tofu. So 100% chance, and you get another crit. Then 60% chance. So I was asking the AI on this decaying probability scenario, and as you can see here, so of course, like the first bonus is 100% guaranteed. Then after that is 60%. Then after that is 36%. Then so on and so forth. So the average attacks is like 2.5. So in total, including the original one, 2.5 extra attacks, including the original one, is like, in average, 3.5 attacks. So let's say 3 attacks in average. That's a lot of attacks. And all of a sudden, the 30% chance originally to dispel the buff is not that it increases, but you have higher chances, more chances of like 30% chance. So it becomes statistics over statistics, like the math mean of like. So this is pretty interesting.
Passive. When Yeli scores a critical hit on the primary target, she follows up with skill 1 as a pursuit attack. Ultimate skill.
Right. Purifies all debuffs. All right. If you go to level 3. So if you invest 2 lettuce, it purifies all debuffs and gains 2 turns crit. Okay, so she gets extra crit, right? That's really good. Then deals 3 hits of 120% damage to all enemies, with each hit having a 35% chance to inflict a 2-turn debuff. Right. So the previous ability says on an active skill. I don't think it's per hit. I think it's if you manage to land a crit on any of these 3 hits, you will get a follow-up attack. So that's interesting. The thing about the crit up is like, because she cleans herself, no debuffs, 30% extra crit. Therefore, with a single module of crit chance, then probably you're getting closer to the 100% crit, right? Which is what you want to get so that you get the follow-up attack. So we need at least one module of crit and then probably 2 modules of effect accuracy, right? I think that's how I will build her. And I think Battle Wheel will be extremely important. That's why they are showcasing her with Battle Wheel, because then you have another extra chance to do another extra follow-up attack, more attacks coming, more dispels. So you make sure that the boss has no more buffs on their kit. Now, the thing is, it's expensive, right? Because you need 2 Letus here to dispel. If you care about the dispelling, you need 4 Letus here to follow up attacks, right? So to do the 100%, right, which is the biggest benefit. And then, yeah, you need another 4 here. It's like, it's insanely expensive, right? It's really expensive. If I need to pick, I'm guessing skill 2, the passive one, is the most important one, simply because of the follow-up attack, right? By getting extra follow-up attacks, if you build her on crit, you are increasing the damage output, you're increasing the chances to, by, repeating and repeating and repeating, you're increasing the chances to dispel. I guess this will be the priority, but this is like 4 Letus. Oh, 4 lettuce, eh? It's a lot of lettuce. We don't have that much greens, that much tofu. Right, so yeah, let's continue watching the video.
And grants crit up for 2 turns. Then she attacks all enemies, inflicting damage 3 times. Each attack can apply defense down for 2 turns. Yeli's ultimate ability strategically weakens enemy defenses while boosting her critical potential.
I love the
After attaining a critical
animation.
hit, she can chain follow-up attacks that may strip beneficial effects from her targets. This combination of reliable area damage and powerful single target potential makes her an outstanding damage dealer. Single target.
So if we look at this combination,
area damage and power.
If we look at this team composition, right, I think it's about time that we discuss teams. Xiada is here, which is probably the main DPS in this scenario. She's like off DPS. I would say that Yeli is like an off DPS / support. The good thing about having Beyontin, as you can see here, the legs and stuff, Beyontin, is that she can buff attack of probably Xiada. Then Freya can give you defense. And then maybe we're missing just Lily, right, to be crack. So then Lily can, I think in combination, like I will swap probably Xiada for Diting or Masia if you have her. Of course, if you have Xiada, that's fantastic. So then the good thing about having Xiada and Yeli is that you have a lot of chances to dispel. So like you make sure that the boss have 0 buffs. Freya gives you defense. So I think this is like a good setup that you can be thinking about. I don't remember Veronica's skills. I haven't seen her much in the leaderboard, right? That's why maybe bringing Lily instead of Veronica or Klaus could be a better option, potentially. Even though I don't remember her kit, it's just based on like the tier list and how people are playing, which maybe I need to check. So yeah, overall, like the question is, should you pull on her kit? Let's look into Veronica before we attack down, shield, and steal all buffs from them. All right, Veronica deals damage to a single enemy, 80% chance to steal all buffs from them. Then has a 100% chance to spread all her buffs to all allies. Wow, this is really good. Another stealer. I totally forgot about Veronica. Sorry, Veronica lovers. She's hot as fuck. So I think the question is, should you pull on her banner, right? I think Yeli, if you have Heinrich, which I don't, I don't think you need her. If you have Xiada built, maybe you don't need her as well because she's already the DPS and the dispeller. If you have Veronica built, then probably you don't need her because like it has higher chances to steal buffs. I think what Yeli provides is a role compression. Also, like some people are thinking, is this Rosa? Well, the only similarity with Rosa is the follow-up attack. So basically, like once you do a crit, it applies this one. So then they receive more damage. And then the follow-up attack does, like, it has a chance to reduce the turn meter. So it's not really Rosa. Like, it's not really Rosa. Like, we are not basically like, it applies crit all to all allies. Rosa is a DPS that can improve everyone DPS. So like, it could be also your off DPS in a way. And the thing about Rosa, if you have her build, is that you reduce the speed of the enemies. I think Rosa is extremely good in PvP because of this. You increase the crit of everyone, so then you can be buffing the crit of Masia, of Diting. Diting will benefit a lot from Rosa. Then you deal 3 hits, put speed down, then you can do more damage thanks to the Blood Heart, and then you can reduce the turn meter. So it's not about dispelling. The only similarity is follow-up attacks. So I think I would say that Yeli is completely optional, in my opinion, in my book, because you have other dispellers in the game. Because of that, it's optional. I'm personally going to pull on her because I don't have Heinrich and I don't have a Xiada build. At the same time, it's really expensive. So I think I'm going to pull her as a collector. I'm going to try if I could make her work. But I also think you need a lot of speed. So Heinrich, for example, with 122 speed is way, way easier to build. Way easier to build and way easier to get the dispel that you might want to see, especially in Aurora. So if you need a dispeller, this motherfucker might be better, right? But at the same time, with the follow-up attacks, you have like extra support on the DPS. It's a really difficult choice. We have many, many good options. So I'm really happy with her kit because I don't think it's power creep at all. It's just like an extra option to get more dispel at the cost of investing 6 Letus, right? 4 on the follow-up attacks and then 2 on the dispelling herself, because at least you want to see that, right? The dispelling herself is extremely useful as well. In terms of PvP, I don't think she's crack in PvP, to be honest, because, right, let's assume that if you get freeze, she cannot play. If you get asleep, she cannot play. If you get stunned, she cannot play. She's so slow. Once she attacks, right, she dispels buffs from the enemy, but it doesn't produce enough damage to clear the table, to clear one unit, to CC one unit. I don't think she will play in PvP at all. At least not in this stage. If in the future we get other units that support her, maybe. But for now, I don't think she will shine when you have other units like Holden. Hoyan, for example, is also really hard to build. But once you build Hoyan in PvP, she's like a menace, right? So very interesting how the game is evolving and how many options we have. What do you think about this unit? I think it's interesting, really interesting to see like this kind of abilities. I think I'm gonna pull on her, try her in Aurora and see if it could be fast enough to help me clear Aurora Inferno. Let's see how it goes. What do you think? I would love to hear your thoughts. Yeah, as always saying, if you like this type of content, please consider throwing a like and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, cheerios. Bye bye.